Today, we're diving into the world of Roblox. But this isn't your typical story about a game that blew up. This is about a game that was saved, and the really high price that came with that rescue.
And that kind of brings us to the big central question here. How can saving a popular game possibly be a bad thing? I know, it sounds completely backward, but stick with me because the story here is, well, it's a lot.
Okay, so our story starts with this super popular game. But just like any garden, there was something pretty dark hiding just beneath the surface. All right, so the game at the center of all this is called Grow a Garden. It was made by a developer named V_Yaris. And look, this wasn't some small indie project. This thing was huge. It had this massive, super dedicated community, and that community is absolutely key to understanding what happened next.
But then, things got messy, fast. In late 2023, some really serious allegations against V_Yaris started popping up. By early 2024, it was all over the place. X, YouTube, you name it. And the community, they were not having it. They organized this huge boycott, basically saying, we want accountability and we want it now.
So you're probably wondering, what were these allegations? Well, it all centered on V_Yaris being a pro-shipper. And just so we're all on the same page here, a pro-shipper is someone who creates or supports fictional content about really problematic and often illegal relationships. On a platform like Roblox with so many young players, yeah, that is a gigantic red flag. So you've got this game in a total freefall. The community is furious. It really looks like it's over. But then it seemed like a perfect solution just fell out of the sky. The rescue.
Right in the middle of this whole firestorm, a really well-respected developer named Jandel stepped in. If you've played Roblox, you probably know his game Creatures of Sonaria. He's a big deal, has a great reputation, and he announced his studio was about to make a pretty bold move.
Jandel's studio announced they were buying Grow a Garden to completely overhaul it, and on the surface, this looked like a massive win for everybody. A beloved game was getting rescued by a trusted developer, saving it from all the drama around its creator. Perfect, right? So, problem solved, right? The game is safe, the community can be happy, a good developer's in charge. Well, not quite. This is where the story gets really, really complex.
Because this rescue, it came with a hidden catch, a very, very expensive one. And that gets us to the true price of this whole payout.
When you really dig into it, the problem with this sale breaks down into three big parts. First, it was basically a golden parachute for the creator. Second, it completely undermined the community that raised the alarm in the first place. And third, it created what's called a moral hazard for the future.
First up, the golden parachute. The most important point is this. Instead of facing consequences for their alleged actions, like, losing their game and its income, the original creator got a massive financial payout just to walk away. It wasn't a punishment at all. It was a highly profitable exit.
And that leads right to the second point. It completely undermined the community's efforts. The players did their job. They raised the alarm, they organized, they demanded accountability. But then a business deal, a big pile of money, essentially told them that their voices and their demands could just be overwritten. And that's why this isn't just a story about one game or one developer. The real issue here is the incredibly dangerous precedent this sets for the entire platform.
Let's just put it side by side. It's really simple. The community's goal was consequences for the creator. The sale's outcome was a financial reward for that same creator. You see the problem? The two things couldn't be more opposite. And that's the long-term danger here. The popular game itself became a get-out-of-jail-free card. The message it sends is that if your digital asset, your game, is valuable enough, you can pretty much cash out to escape accountability, no matter what you've been accused of. So why does one sale on Roblox matter this much? Well, because it suggests that popularity can shield creators from consequences. It sends a chilling message that the value of a digital thing is more important than community safety and basic ethics. And ultimately, that creates a moral hazard, where other developers might not be so careful in the future, knowing there's a profitable escape route if they get caught. Which leaves us with this final thought. The game itself, the digital garden players loved, was saved. But when you look at the full picture, the payout, the precedent, the message it sent, you have to ask, was the price for saving it just way, way too high?